Well, hello everyone, my name is Bob, and one of my hobbies is renovating this 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat. And yes, I did just call it a hobby. Well guys, my summer break from editing videos is over, and as you can see, I'm back to editing and putting out videos on my channel. Now, not only did I take a break from editing videos, it seems like when I did this first project I'm going to cover in this video, I took a break from actually filming for videos. So I did a lot of updating and a lot of talking, and I was falling asleep watching my footage. So basically this is the best I could do for the subject matter that I'm covering, which is the transom back here in the cockpit. I felt like I was done with it, but I've changed a few things around through the course of the summer, and I may have to do a little bit more to it. At the end of the video, I'm going to give a little update on the port side settee that I restored and installed. Did a little work on that. It's not worthy of an entire video. Figured I would just show you guys what I did on that over the summer as well. So here we go with the video. Alright guys, here we are at the transom, and the center of the boat's approximately in this area right here. These are a couple stringers. This is the transom here, and this is what I'm going to call a support piece, for lack of a term. It was all rotted down here, by the way. That's why I cut it off. The fiberglass wasn't very good, and water got in there and just rotted the bottom of it. But I was surprised when I cut it off that the plywood doesn't actually touch the transom, at least in this area. There's about a 1/2 inch gap in there. It's a 1/2 inch piece of plywood, and it fits right up in there. I have to continue this down. This actually goes all the way up. Piece right here that comes up, that's the top of it. What I'm going to do is put a piece of 1/2 inch plywood in here, and I'm going to tuck it up underneath here. So the first thing I have to do is make a template to transfer to a piece of plywood. The template is made, and I'm going to go cut out the piece. I'm going to try to put a tab in at the top here, see how that works. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of back and forth fitting the piece in there, but I'll show you when I get it fitted. And here's the piece fitting in. I was able to actually put a tab up in here, and I back beveled the plywood here so I can get it in easier, and then I can squirt epoxy up in there once it's in too, to help get more epoxy up in there. So I've got all these areas here with a chamfer on them, so it'll blend in nicely. And it's up against there really tight. I'm gonna have to put one little clamp here where my foot is, just to give it a slight pressure to hold it in, and that'll be it. So next thing I'm going to do is put it in. I'm not going to film that, but I'll show you what it looks like once it's in. Okay, it's the next morning. Clamps are still in place. So I'll take these off, and we'll get a better look at how things came out. Alright, so there it is. It's all installed. When I installed it, I didn't mix up all the epoxy that I was going to need to fill all the gaps in. I just mixed up enough to get it attached and have some decent squeeze out all the way around. I had to come back with another batch of epoxy and fill in down in this corner where the gap is bigger, and fill like this side in. And I filled in up here too. I actually wanted to fill in this side too, but I forgot. So I can do that anytime. It's just a kind of a sharp transition there. This kind of smooths it out a little bit better. I also didn't put a fillet in, which I'm going to do all the way around. I figure I can put that in later too. It would be kind of too much to try to do all that at once. And on this side there is still an issue. This fiberglass here from the factory is kind of pinched back here. The plywood only goes back to probably about here. And then when they put it in, it got pinched when they were tabbing it in. So I got to put a filler or something in here just to get the shape I want. I want it to match this side. And all the other ones are kind of rounded like that. So got some work to do before I put the fillet on there and fiberglass over this. Now today I'm going to work on this piece here, this little transition. Not sure what to do. There's a few options. I can bevel what I have here down. It's one option. I could add a piece like I was going to with a bevel on it all the way around. Or I can add a 1/2 inch piece and bevel this piece into that piece, and then bevel that piece down. So there's a few options I can do here. I just got to figure out which one's going to be the easiest to fiberglass over in the end. So at this point I removed the rudders and all the hardware here and some of the rotted plywood underneath them, but I'm going to go over all of this in a future episode. So next up was to fill in this old through-hole fitting hole. I've already beveled this side, and I'm just going to patch this side for now with fiberglass, and I'll deal with the outside later on. Okay, so before I get further along here, I just want to do a little bit of an update. About a week ago or so, I filled in this area here with thickened epoxy. It's epoxy thickened with colloidal silica. Well, let's hold on right there. This is the area I mentioned in the beginning of the video that's going to be changed due to a game plan change I made after I installed this. So this will all be modified in the future. And I did it on both sides. And this was the stringer that was kind of pinched at the top. The fiberglass kind of pinched together here where it met up with the transom. So I just wanted to get the same shape as this one and all the other ones. So I filled that in. Didn't worry about the fillet down here for now. But I did fillet the corners last night because I find that doing like a 3-corner fillet like that is difficult to do if you're bringing this down and around to bring a fillet. So to get this corner all filleted here like I wanted it, I did these last night. This one and this one and the ones on this side and the other side too. So I'm going to grind those down a little bit today and then do the fillet the rest of the way, all the way up around here and down on this side and, you know, down along the bottom and all the way around. So that's what I'm going to work on today. I did finish this yesterday as well. It just has to be sanded now, and then I can put fiberglass over the whole thing, tie it all together, and that's where we're at. So I finished all of the filleting around the center area there and did a lot of sanding. So now the transom was finally ready to be fiberglassed. Okay, so as you can see, I have the fiberglass sitting on the transom right now. It's a little bit too big of a piece for me to, I think, pre-epoxy it off the transom like I did with the pieces over here at the mufflers. It's just going to be way too hard to get up in there. So I'm probably just going to have to wet out the surface and put it up there and then just wet it out while it's in place, I guess. Have my mixing station right here, so I'll keep coming back and forth. But I'll probably edit all that out anyway, so. And the bad footage continues until finally that went in actually better than I expected. I intend to let it dry now, and I'm going to put 2 coats of epoxy on it like I usually do, just to have something to sand later on, but I gotta let it dry a little bit. So this is what the surface looked like after applying those 2 coats of epoxy, sanding them, and then applying 1 more coat. And then I scuffed it up with a Scotch-Brite pad just to get the amine blush off it. So as I said in the beginning, here's a little bit of an update on the port side settee that I restored and reinstalled. I left the drawers in. These are just the original drawers. I haven't even cleaned them up or anything too much yet, but just wanted to give you an overall picture of what it's going to look like when everything's said and done. The only thing that I haven't done yet is in this corner. You can see I put a little piece of vertical trim there. I'm going to put something there all the way up, but I'm going to wait till I put flooring in, because I may have a base trim that goes along there. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. But that's not going to happen until the boat's actually in the water, so there's a settee. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you got some enjoyment out of it. So until the next one comes out, take care, and we'll see you soon.